Hello all. In this video, we're going to be talking about writing your UCAS personal statement. Most of the tips will be general and applicable to any subject, but some will be physics specific, so apologies in advance if you're not a physicist. Before we get down to the 10 tips, let's look at the basic details of what the UCAS personal statement is. Your personal statement is a written account of why you want to study the subject you're applying to, and more broadly, why you are suitable for university study in general. The statement is 4,000 characters or 47 lines, which is roughly 500 words long, and is sent out to all 5 of your university choices. This last point is important. The same statement is sent out to all of your 5 university choices, so it's best to make it general. You don't want to say something like, "This is why I want to study at Manchester," because then if you've also applied to Bristol or other universities, they'll see that and might be a little bit miffed. It's really not a good idea to apply to different subjects within your university choices. But that being said, particularly within physics departments, there are quite a wide range of courses on offer. For example, you could be applying to BSc Physics with Astronomy at Exeter, BSc Astrophysics at Queen Mary, or BSc Theoretical Astrophysics at Nottingham University. All of these courses will be pretty similar, but they just have different names. So in your statement, it's best not to name the specific course you're applying to, which in these cases would be different, but instead to just focus on the subject you're interested in, which in this case would be astrophysics. Okay, now for my 10 tips. Number 1, don't lie. This one is pretty obvious. You shouldn't say anything in your personal statement that is not true. More than that, you should be careful about mentioning things in your statement that you wouldn't be happy talking about in a little bit more detail if your subject does interviews. For example, you don't want to mention a book that you've either not read or skimmed and didn't read in much detail, and then be asked to discuss it a little bit more in an interview. Number 2, avoid cliches. If you've read through a number of personal statements, it's pretty incredible how many use very similar words and phrases. Things like, "I am deeply passionate about physics," or "I love physics," or "I have wanted to study physics for as long as I can remember." It's best to avoid phrases like this. Another thing to bear in mind is that there are a handful of very popular physics books, which a lot of people talk about in their personal statements. Things like Stephen Hawking's A Brief History of Time, Brian Greene's The Elegant Universe. Although these are fantastic books, it can be advantageous to maybe find some slightly more obscure books to talk about in your personal statement. Number 3, show, don't tell. It's not enough just to tell the people reading your statement how much you love your subject, you have to demonstrate it to them. You can do this in a number of ways. You can talk about books you've read beyond your syllabus, you can talk about parts of your A-level course that you've really enjoyed, or you can talk about places you visited that are related to your subject. For example, if you've been to the Jodrell Bank Observatory, or if you've been to the Large Hadron Collider, these are fantastic things you could talk about. Number 4, strong opening and closing lines. When someone is reading your statement, your opening line can go a long way to shaping their overall impression of you while they're reading your statement. Similarly, the closing line is the last thing they'll read, so can leave a strong impression if written well. You don't want your statement to just sort of tail off and end. The first line should serve as an introduction to your statement. Things like, "Hello, my name is Robert and this is why I want to study physics," should be avoided at all cost. If there's a clear theme running through your statement, say a fascination with space, you can use your opening line to introduce this in some nice way. Maybe talking about how studying physics has given humans the clearest idea of what our place is in the cosmos, something like that. It doesn't hurt to be a little bit poetic with your opening and closing lines. The closing line should serve to round off your personal statement. You could use this to mention a career aspiration, though I'll have more to say about that shortly, or to restate your excitement about the prospect of studying your subject further. You could also link your closing sentence to your opening line, maybe being a little poetic in your opening line, talking about space and how fascinating you find it, and then in your closing sentence, linking it back to that fascination by relating it to the practicality of studying a degree in physics, allowing you to explore that fascination even further. Number 5, don't have too many people read it over. The phrase, too many cooks spoil the broth, should certainly be something to keep in mind. It's great to have people looking over your statement to check your phrasing is nice and polished and you haven't made any errors in your details about your subject, but it isn't a good idea to have too many people commenting on every aspect of your statement. Once you've written your first draft and have your structure pretty decided on about how you want to say everything in your statement, it's a good idea to delegate different aspects of your statement to be reviewed by different people. You should ask your subject teacher to read over your statement and comment on how accurate the physics you've talked about is, i.e., making sure you haven't said something that's just wrong. The wording and phrasing of your statement as a whole you should then entrust to your UCAS coordinator, the person that puts together your teacher references and will help you submit your application, and maybe one other person whose judgment you trust or perhaps has specific knowledge related to your subject. I don't think it's a good idea to just give out your statement to multiple people and ask them, what do you think about this? If you don't guide people on the kind of comments you want to get back from them, you might just get a lot of contradictory feedback from the different people you've given things to, which can be confusing. Number 6, supercurricular over extracurricular. Supercurricular and extracurricular are different things. An extracurricular activity or interest is something that is totally separate to the subject you're applying to, whereas a supercurricular interest or activity is something that is highly related to what you're applying to, but is beyond the syllabus and beyond what you're expected to be doing for your A-level course. Supercurricular is much more important than extracurricular, though it is still important to talk about things outside of your subject you're interested in, as universities do want to know that you are a human being and not just a studying machine. There are lots of things you can do to increase your supercurricular knowledge of your subject. Reading books beyond your syllabus is, of course, one, as is following lecture courses online, such as those on Leonard Susskind's Theoretical Minimum page or the MIT Open Courseware page. There are also a lot of free courses you can take online called MOOCs, which stands for Massive Online Open Course. I'll link in the description a page you can search for MOOCs, as well as the pages for the Theoretical Minimum site and MIT's Open Courseware page. Number 7. Include personal achievements. A personal achievement covers quite a wide range of things. This could be subject related, like taking part in a maths or physics Olympiad, or winning your school's end of year subject prize, or this could be completely unrelated to your subject, like a sporting trophy, or a music qualification, or volunteer work you've done, or having a position being a student representative, something like that. As a rule of thumb, I'd say your statement should be 85% subject related and 15% other stuff. If you have non-subject related achievements and interests, it's good to try and use these to highlight other qualities you have, such as teamwork or leadership skills or determination and focus, those kind of things. Although it isn't the university's top priority to look at things like this, it is good to come across as a well-rounded person. Number 8. Don't be too single-minded about your future plans. It can be tempting, if you have a good idea about what you want to do after university or what specific subfield of your subject you want to go into, to just state unequivocally what your future plans are. Don't get me wrong, it can be good to give an indication of what you're interested in pursuing long term, but you don't want to come across as naive. It's better to maturely acknowledge that plans change and indicate openness to the opportunities and different subjects within your subject you'll study at university. For example, saying something like, when I leave university, I want to be a theoretical particle physicist at CERN, may be a little bit too specific. It could be better to say something like, after reading X book, the option of a career in particle physics research became an exciting possibility to me, or something along those lines. Number 9. Don't forget maths. Whatever kind of physics course you go on to study, and whatever kind of physics you may specialize in later down the line, all physicists need a good grasp of mathematics. An undergraduate physics degree contains a lot of it, so it's a good idea to let the reader of your statement know that you enjoy it and you're aware that you're going to be doing a lot more of it when you start your degree. This could be talking about parts of your maths course that you've enjoyed and how they relate to parts of your physics course, like using calculus to solve kinematics problems, Or it could be completely separate, talking about supercurricular maths you've done from some of the sources I talked about earlier. Number 10, don't focus too much on ability. Although the personal statement is in essence a persuasive piece of writing, it isn't a good idea to make it too boastful. Someone I know referred to themselves as an intellectual powerhouse in their personal statement, which, however true that may be, it doesn't do well to state it. The statement should focus on demonstrating interest, dedication, and also ability, but through examples and evidence. Also, when you start studying at university, you'll realize that natural ability is not half as important as most people think it is. Tutors will be able to look at your PAT score and your exam grades to try and judge those kind of things. What you want to convey is real, genuine excitement for studying your subject and dedication to working hard on your degree. So those were my 10 tips for writing your UCAS personal statement. I hope you all found this video useful. If you did, please think about liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Also, if you haven't already, make sure to follow Cosmic Conundrum on Twitter for updates about when I'm uploading videos and problems and things like that. And also take a look at my website where you can find some more resources for what sort of supercurricular things might be useful to talk about in your personal statement. Okay, thanks a lot. See you all soon.